Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna talk about a couple things to look for in the summer on your yard to make sure it's getting enough water. So here's kind of the situation. My yard, I put this in 2 years ago. And the first year, when they first put it in, I was watering a certain amount every day and the grass was super green, super lush. And then last year, I watered it the same amount, but the grass started to turn brown and I couldn't figure out if it was because I was overwatering or underwatering the grass. So today I'm gonna teach you 2 simple ways to know if your grass is getting enough water. So today I'm gonna show you 2 different spots in my grass that I'm a little bit worried about, and we're gonna troubleshoot what's going on with them. So the first one is right here. And you can kind of see, I've got some green areas, but there's also some yellow and some brown. It could be underwatering. The thing I hate is when you look up if it's overwatering or underwatering, they'll tell you it's the same visual signs, and that's kind of why we're gonna go over today 2 things you can actually do to double check that. And then the second area is actually over here. Don't mind my soccer net I've got over here. It's right over here, and you can see it looks pretty similar, right? We've got green, but there are some browning spots, some yellowing spots over here. And the other reason why I want to go over these 2 things is it's not always the same issue. Visually they may look similar, but there might be different things going on with your grass. So this is a way that you can rule out if your grass has enough water or not. For this test, we're going to need 2 different tools. One is a screwdriver. You're going to want it to be at least 6 inches long. Phillips is fine. And then the second is, they call it a core sampler, a soil sampler. I bought this last year when I was having those issues in my yard. And I've used this thing so many times. And if you don't have either of these things, I'm gonna include links in the description below so you can see which ones that I've used, that I trust, and that have worked well for me. Okay, we're gonna start with the screwdriver test. This is a super simple one. Like I said, you need a 6-inch screwdriver. You're basically gonna shove this into the ground and see how much resistance the soil gives you as you push it in. If there's little resistance, if it goes in pretty easy, in and out, it means you likely have enough water. If you're reaching a lot of resistance as you push it in, it could be an indicator of not enough water in your soil. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, I'm pushing that thing in. There is a little bit of resistance. Over here, it's actually really good. It's going just in and out, super simple. And again, the reason why you want 6 inches is your turf, about 2 to 3 inches of it is just the sod itself. So you want to see what it's like below that 2 or 3 inches of sod to see how your soil is. Because if you're watering correctly, you're doing deep watering and it's loosening up that soil, making it softer, a little bit lower down so the roots of your grass can grow farther down in the soil. Okay, we're going to try the screwdriver test on the second spot of grass. It's also a little bit brown. All right, that one is much harder to put in. You'll want to try a couple different spots. Yeah, I can barely get that thing in. 6 inches, and like I said, it goes in those first 2 inches pretty easy, and then you hit resistance. The soil is made up of a lot of clay, so it gets really hard. It has bad drainage. So that's another way. Oh my gosh. I'm putting my full weight on that. I can't get that in. So without knowing anything further, without being able to see the soil, I would likely say that this area needs some more water, while that other one we went to is probably has enough moisture. But we're still gonna do the second test just to make sure. All right, on to the second test. We have the core sampler. This one, you're gonna need to put a little bit more weight into it depending on how dry your soil is. And we'll check on that second spot when we get there and make sure I can even get it in. But let's start with this first one again. We're gonna be able to, and just actually take another close up. So right here, you've got about 8 inches of just exposed area. So I usually, again, like to push it in about 6 inches. You'll be able to see not only how wet the soil is, but also how far down your roots are going with your grass. So you get a couple indicators of kind of the health of your grass. So let's do it. All right, this first one, all right, put my weight into it and take a look. So you can see this is really, not really wet, but it's moist, okay? And you can see the clay down here, see that? So I've actually got some pretty good soil here. It's nice and damp. I haven't watered this for a day or 2 and it's still kind of kept the moistness to it. So like I said, this one is probably fine. See the roots go down that couple of inches. But yeah, I think we're okay here. This is definitely not the issue that it's being underwatered on this side. Okay, now we're on the second side. This is the one that I'm already anticipating is dry. I'm still gonna try and get a soil sample. So I'm gonna put my weight into this, see what I can do. All right, I can get through the first 2 inches. Oh man. Yeah, this is as far as I can get. And you can see it's just crumpling in my hand. So it is pretty dry. Again, for me, a major indicator that it's too dry is if you can't even get below that 2 or 3 inches, because this clay and this soil basically turns to concrete when it's super dry. So maybe we'll try one other spot and just see if we get the same result. I can get a little bit further down on this one. Yeah, similar. See, it's a much lighter color. It's kind of crumbling in my hand. It's definitely pretty dry. So this could definitely use some additional water. That's all you got to do. There's kind of 2 simple tests. A screwdriver, this is a great beginning way to look and see if your soil has moisture. Just go in and out if you find spots that are hard to get into, likely they need water. And the second one, this is the one that I prefer, is using this soil core sampler that you can push in and actually see how your soil looks. And so according to my lawn, this first spot that we did, it's definitely not a moisture issue that I can see. And to be honest, I know probably what's going on here. I did some fertilizing a couple weeks ago, and I know I had a couple spots over here where I may have over fertilized, and we'll maybe cover that in a separate video. This other side, you know, we definitely have probably a watering problem. While there may be other things going on over here, I would start by upping my watering. Your lawn, you need about 1.5 to 2 inches of water a week. So you'll need to regulate based on the sprinkler heads that you have. And there's other ways that you can check how much water your yard is getting. But I would adjust my sprinkler heads and maybe even just hand water that section a little bit to help it go green. All right, just a quick update on my dry grass spot that I have. I've watered about 3 times, 3 consecutive days, in addition to what my normal sprinkler system has done. It's starting to make a little bit of a dent. I think it's gonna take probably a week or 2 to really see it green up like the rest of my yard. So the last test that we'll do is just the same ones that we did the first time around. Let's do the screwdriver test, and then we'll throw in our core sampler and just see if the soil is giving way a little bit easier than it was before. Oh yeah. See, that's just going right in the way you'd expect it. If you have a nice, let's go back a little bit, that you'd expect if it was being watered correctly. Yeah, that's going in real nice. I'm still gonna put this thing in to be safe. Again, I love this thing. Oh, yeah. If you remember when I first tried this, how hard that was. Take a look at this. That is nice, deeply watered grass, even with the clay at the bottom. So we're looking good. We're on our way to green grass. All right, that's it. If you like that video, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow our channel so you'll be notified every time we put out content like this. If you're looking to get a really super green lawn, watch this video here where we talk about the secret ingredient to get that super green lawn you've been dreaming of.